Welcome, level uppers, to the Netflix Club, episode 5, our first ever live Netflix Club. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I'm joined tonight by the sexy giraffe. Wait, what do you want to call yourself? I forget.
Your mistress.
My mistress. My mistress. Krista Midori is here, and we also, of course, have the classy douchebag, Mike McLaughlin, joining us through Skype and Discord.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, what's up?
It's cool to see you like this. It's almost like you're here.
Slide that way a little bit.
It's not. It's actually the furthest thing, like, when I'm there, because I do come there, and this is not me there. But it's
you're
close.
here. You're here. It's fine.
So this month, we are going to be discussing the Netflix original movie, Okja. What are you doing right now? You can't do that. You're not here. You're not in person. Only we are allowed to do that.
See?
Directed by, I think his name is, I want to say Boone Jeongho. Is that right? I want to say
Something
that's his
along
name.
those lines. I'm not
He's
gonna weigh in on this.
well known for The Host is the first thing that I remember him doing, and then after that he did a movie called Snowpiercer, which we both really liked, partially
Chris Evans was in
because
it.
Chris Evans was in it. Right. We got Rick in the room. Welcome, Rick, and anybody else who's joined us. Make yourself known in the chat, because the reason we're doing Netflix Club live now is because we want to talk about the movie with you guys. That's the whole idea of having a club, and every month we're going to be doing a Netflix Club, either original movie or original series, and you guys can watch it with us, and then we can discuss it. For instance, this month we are going to be watching Castlevania. Mike already started Castlevania.
What is this?
I'm done. It was quick.
It's very short. What do you think, Mike? Is Kristen going to
Chris
at
is
all
going
enjoy?
to hate it. Hate it.
What is it? A TV show?
It's an anime.
It's an
It's
It's
anime,
only 4 episodes. It's
about
only
a
22
video
minutes
game.
each.
I'm not watching
and
it.
it's pretty freaking gory.
So why in the world would you pick something that not everyone's gonna enjoy, Andrew?
Because the viewers wanted us to watch Castlevania.
Right, and it's video game themed, and it's one of the best series of anything video game ever. It's actually probably one of the best media
I
things. But
do hear it's very good.
this
Why won't
sucks.
Kristen like it?
I'm not gonna watch it.
It's anime, and it's very gory.
Yeah, I'm
very
not
gory,
gonna watch
okay.
it. That's dumb. Forget it. Forget it. You guys can do it by yourself next month.
Might have to get a third person to watch a Netflix Club and come join us live.
Maybe we
that's
can get
insane.
we can get P-Hush or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
We'll have to
that'd be-
shop around. Maybe we get one of the level uppers to join us for a full
Oh, there we
episode.
go. That'd be cool.
Could maybe auction that off.
Castlevania, like what the heck?
Never heard of Castlevania?
No, I
I
heard
want
Zach
Kristen to
talking
try to
about
watch it, but she's going to be so upset.
I was already angry watching Dark. Was it something Note?
Death Note.
Death Note.
I
Dark
was like, oh, rub my feet. Actually, it was your idea. You said if you let me finish the episode, I'll rub your feet the whole time, and I said okay.
Death Note is really good, and that's going to be our August Netflix
Danielle
Club.
tried to watch about 2 or 3 episodes.
Not for her.
It wasn't for her, but she didn't put up as much of a fight about it as I thought she would.
I think
good.
that the movie, I think they might enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better. Like, it's actually like the whole idea, the whole premise is right down Danielle's alley. She just doesn't like anime. She just doesn't like cartoons.
Review guys back. Welcome
Hey,
back,
John.
review guys.
Welcome, John.
Welcome everybody who's in the room. We got 7 people so far. Share the show. As I said, this is a Discord-focused episode of Netflix Club, and that's why if you guys are on our Discord, make sure to get yourself in the TLUS queue. As we go through the night, we're going to be dragging viewers from Discord onto the show to give your opinions on Okja. Or, you know, if you want to jump in there and you haven't even watched Okja, that's fine too, but we would like to talk with people that did watch the movie. Yeah, people that can have questions or their feelings, their opinions. I know Flames to Earth is already waiting in the TLUS queue because I know that he watched it. I know that Rick watched it today, and I know when did you watch it, Mike?
This morning and 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Well, it'll be fresh.
Mike, I mean, let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about Okja a little bit. And Mike, you can start because clearly you weren't as into it as
So
I
actually, I
was.
was. The issue was the beginning. The very beginning of it was just So Danielle and I were originally intending to watch it together, and she was going to try to do this with us too. And then we just couldn't get into it. I tried again, maybe later on that night. This was Tuesday, Monday, something like that.
Right.
I couldn't get into it again later on. I tried the next day, and I still couldn't. That beginning to me was just a little too slow. Like I'm not a person who enjoys subtitles. Like I don't want to read because that's why I have books.
Yeah.
So like it took a lot for me to get into it. But then finally, when I did this morning, and I just sat through it, and I was like, all right, this is entertaining. What's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal's character was absolutely the best thing that's ever happened.
I'm going to wait to comment on that because I agree and I disagree about Jake Gyllenhaal. Well, we can
Really?
talk about that a little later. I'll let you finish your full opinion on the movie first.
So, overall, the very beginning, the background and everything of what they're planning to do is, speaks to what's going on now and, current events and everything like that. So it's, very close to home in that sense. But this part right here, where it's just, 50 minutes of this girl talking to a
let's not
giant
exaggerate
hippopotamus.
here. It's not 50 minutes. It was, maybe 20 to 30 at the
Oh,
beginning.
okay, that's so much better.
Mike, you apparently, as you claim, grew up around all these different type of creatures, and you were a wildlife man.
You got it out of me.
You got it out of you, and you cannot get into a movie about a beautiful young girl with her best friend being a pig.
A super pig.
A super pig. And let's be realistic, I like amphibians and reptiles. Probably because I'm pretty much one.
Before we really get going, I guess, before you finish your opinion, I guess we should let the people that don't know anything about Okja just give them a little bit of feedback, a little bit of insight into what this movie's about. So, as you were saying, it's subtitled at the beginning because it takes place, I believe, in South Korea. Mija is the main character, and 10 years prior to really the main events of the movie, this corporation called the Mirando Corporation starts this contest of sorts about these super pigs that were genetically engineered, essentially. I think they're lying about that at the beginning, if I remember right. But they're genetically engineered super pigs meant for the purpose of being food. But they choose the 25 prettiest of the super pigs and put them around the world to give them to farmers. And then 10 years later, they're going to choose the best of the super pigs and crown them the winner. And Okja is one of the super pigs that is sent to South Korea, and Mija becomes very attached to the creature. And then things go horribly wrong.
Pretty much.
You're pretty
That's
much,
spot
yeah.
on.
Well, there wouldn't be a movie if everything went right. So.
Yeah, it's a weird movie because it's humorous and it's quirky and then it's insanely depressing at the same
Right,
time.
that last about 10 minutes or so were just dark.
Very
Like,
dark.
Very dark. Overall, I liked it a lot, though. I'm glad I finally, buckled up and, sat down and watched through it. Because once you get past the point of her only talking to a giant hippo, it's
Pig.
pretty good. Whatever.
It is a pig. Let's get it right here. Well,
it's
when
pretty
did
much
it change for you though? Was it when the ALF came in, which is the Animal Liberation Force?
No, believe it or not, it's actually the moment Jake Gyllenhaal came on screen.
Oh, okay.
The moment he climbed up the mountain is when it kicked in. I mean, I finally sat down and watched through, the rest of it again, like from the beginning this time. And I didn't hate it as much because I knew what was coming and I did other stuff. But no, once he came on, the voice, dude, it was so like. Is that what you hated? Because
It was a little much for
so
me.
It was a little
entertaining.
much.
See, that's the opposite for me. Like once he started speaking, like I had to actually like unplug my head.
Was losing your mic? I couldn't hear you there.
She's like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. Like, yeah, I thought it was so entertaining, especially that his fake voice was his real voice.
Right. Yeah, that was humorous. I just thought that when he was doing his real voice, if we want to call it that, it was too much for me. Like, what did you think?
Yes.
Like, it got annoying, kind of, for me.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought he was overplaying the role. I don't know.
Yeah, it came
I
off to
mean,
me like a
that
little bit
was-
of overacting, maybe.
But every single person was. Tilda Swinton was overacting her
Yeah.
role in both of their roles. The only one that wasn't was what's his name?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, thank you. And he just plays that cool, suave operator, character where he just I know everything that's gonna happen. I'm just gonna go with it. But
Yeah, I want to
everybody
talk
else
about
is
him a little bit
caricature.
later too, because he was an interesting character. The whole like Mirando Corporation, if that was one of my complaints with the movie, I would say, because the Mirando, the main woman of the group, I think her name was not Nancy. What's the main one? There's Nancy, who's the twin sister, and they keep her hidden
Oh,
throughout the
yeah,
movie. And then you've got the main Mirando sister, who has taken over the corporation and is trying to use this contest to make it big with the corporation again. It felt like the movie wanted me to care about this little bit of backstory that they were setting up with the family.
Right.
Why else would you put it in there? But I couldn't find myself caring too much about that family.
No, there was.
It was
nothing
just,
in there.
I don't know, it just wasn't like enough for me to care about them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when they reveal the sister at the end, like Nancy, and she's a twin sister and all this kind of stuff, like, all right. Like,
I was actually a little disappointed that it was a twin, just because I was hoping for it to be like, because I didn't look at the cast, I didn't know who was in it, so I was hoping it was like some random person I didn't know, was gonna be in there at all. Like, if I don't know, Emma Stone, or
Right.
something like, just like somebody just random that you never expected just to pop out and just to be this, evil, very psychopathic, person. So.
What was your overall opinion? Did you enjoy the movie, Kristen?
I did. I wasn't sure at first because the name sounded kind of weird, Okja. And I was like, what the heck are you making me watch? This is going to be a stupid movie. Why is it named Okja?
And you're like, Mike, you're weird with subtitles, too.
Not really.
You don't like subtitles.
That's not true.
I find, like, whenever I watch something with subtitles, you're like, I don't want to read.
I don't know, because it's so small. I don't know, but no, subtitles weren't my issue. I didn't have an issue with it. I
No?
didn't like the grandfather. I thought he was scummy.
Yeah, let's talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit. The grandfather, he was an interesting character because you could sense that he cared about her, but he didn't do a very good job of showing it. Like,
No, enough for
No.
a girl. That's not what a young girl who's growing up needs. She doesn't need someone like that. That's
Right,
what I
and
think.
he definitely had ulterior motives. It seemed like, but
Right.
like, I felt like that's actually, I think, to me, the second weakest part of the movie is I felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do with this character. Like he kind of played both sides a little bit. You know, he was this nice, sweet, relaxed guy. I felt like there was three ways they could have gone with it. They could have gone a very traditional, relaxed, saw the earth type grandfather who very wise and everything like that, and just didn't care about too much. He did what he had to do for his family, for Misha. So they could have gone that route, or they could have gone the sleazy route, where he just was in it for the money, or he could have gone the kind of crazy, like there's so many different personalities within him. And
But don't people
never really
have
settled
multiple
in one.
personalities?
What was that?
Don't people have multiple personalities, though?
I mean,
Depending
yes,
on who you're around, too, you can completely change who you are.
but he was always around her when he did it. Like, him sitting down and, at the very beginning when he was calling her for dinner, is a different personality than when he's talking to her at the graves of her parents, was a very different personality
He's
than.
being so...
that was so bizarre. Yeah, like how
Yeah.
he came off so rude there. Like, but you don't know like the relationship prior to that. But the way he was talking about the parents, and he was just very insensitive about the whole thing.
Yeah.
They didn't go into a lot of detail on her family and her parents and all that, but just that one scene with the gravesite, I was just like, what the hell, dude? Like, her parents are dead. You're
Right.
being really insensitive right now. Like,
Right, there was that personality. There was the one right at the beginning where he's just like, I don't care, I just need dinner. And then there was the one at the end when he's like, running after her with money in his hand, screaming for her to come back as if he cared. Like, that's three different personalities
yeah,
that
it was bizarre.
never meshed.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Boone Jeongho and his movies is, or Bong JoonHo. Sorry, I said that the wrong way. He is always that way with his films. Snowpiercer wasn't really any different, where there's this meshing of so many different atmospheres and vibes, and it's a little bit haphazard and all over the place. But since he's done it like 3 times in a row now, clearly this is just him. Like, this is what he likes to do. He likes to take
Right.
comedy and awkwardness and action and drama and
that's
try to
fine.
somehow really go quick. Some movies will handle it where like the pacing will keep it as like a slow build. But with his movies, it's like it's comic and then it's drama and then it's action and then it's comic and then it's awkward and it's like just all over the place.
And it wasn't the pacing of the movie itself that I had a problem with. It was just his personal character. The same way we were saying that we had an issue with the whole backstory for Mirando. And it's the same way with that. Like, his character, it was just he shouldn't have been there in that form. They should have chosen one form, kind of consistently went through that. But going from loving and touching with Okja to Jake Gyllenhaal's character coming on, and you're supposed to laugh at it. Whatever you,
Oh, yeah.
you guys didn't connect with it, but it was a caricature, and I enjoyed it. So I was.
It was
smiling.
definitely humorous. It just there were certain scenes where it went too far, and we could talk about a few of those later on. What I want to talk about now is the Animal Liberation Force, and I figure we could get somebody on the show for that. Review guy is waiting for us in the TLUS queue. I know you've never spoken with John,
Oh my god.
so hopefully he's ready. I'm going to drag TLUS queue review guy in here. Let's see if it works. John, can you hear us? It looks like you have to unmute your mic. Let's see if he does it. So we're going to talk.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
John, hi.
Hello.
Oh my god, it's John.
It's John.
I only know him as review guy. There's a voice.
There is a voice behind the
Oh
mask.
my god, this is crazy.
John, welcome to the show. Did you watch Okja?
I attempted to, and
Okay.
I fell asleep.
How far did you get into the film, John?
Probably about 5 minutes.
Oh no!
There
so,
it is.
So was it late for you, or was it that you were bored?
It was late. I tried to watch it at like 2:30 this morning.
Oh no, well
And-
that's why. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I think
should've
I thought it was
tried,
very
but-
good.
I don't know. It looked pretty good on the trailer I watched. That's pretty much all I can judge it by.
Well, do you like animals?
Yes.
And do you like that animals are treated nicely
Yes.
Okay, well,
That's one of the big like moral questions of the movie. As it goes on, it kind of it questions you as a meat eater, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, and here's how I felt about it. So the Animal Liberation Force comes in about, I don't know, 30 minutes into the film, and Paul Dano is like the lead guy. I think his name is Jay, and it was kind of cool that Stephen Yeun of Walking Dead fame, he's a character named K in the movie. He's actually the translator for Mija, since he's from South Korea. But they're supposed to be the good guys essentially, but at the same time they're clearly supposed to be extremists. And it kind of brings, like, I think it was supposed to touch a little bit on like liberals nowadays, kind of a little bit, and how there's extreme liberals and people that just take PC too far. And did you get the vibe that it kind of went that way, Mike?
A little bit. I mean, one of the things I thought was kind of cool was they really try to stick by their guns of, we don't want to come in violence. The whole scene in the convenience store, when they're coming in with the crossbows and the tranks and they open up the umbrellas, like, that was so cool to me. Like, I was like, I don't think I would have thought of that. So,
And even the music,
like,
it's like a happy music during that scene. Yeah,
right.
they
Like, it
literally
was just
got beat.
yeah, at the end especially,
Oh,
because they refused violence, they get beat the shit out of at the
I
very
felt
end.
like they would have killed them, and no one would have cared.
Probably, yeah.
possibly. Well, that's the thing with this corporation, and that's something I'm sure we'll get into later on. But as far as their personalities, that you could say that they're liberals. I mean, any animal activist group has done crazy things like this, so this is nothing absurd.
But they're framed as the good guys, so I'm not saying it's like anything against
Right.
liberals, but I do
Well,
like
they
that
weren't exactly pure.
Exactly. I like that too, that there's a little bit of a good and bad, and it's the same with the Mirando Corporation. And John, like, are you at all worried about spoilers? You're good with us talking about
I'm
this?
good with whatever you guys want to talk about.
Okay, because the Mirando Corporation, I find myself, like, they're clearly the villains, and they're framed as the villains and all this kind of stuff. But as I'm watching the film and I'm listening to Mirando, with the main woman there, Tilda Swinton played her, I'm like, I kind of get her. And I don't think she's really doing anything wrong necessarily. The torturing of animals and mistreatment of animals, obviously that is wrong. And the slaughterhouse at the end was just awful. But at the same time, like, maybe she's framing it, and this is false. But the idea of trying to help world hunger and to create super pigs for that reason, it seemed like that was a legitimate purpose on her end. Why else would she even go through this act of creating super pigs? It was because this was an alternate future, I guess you say, or an alternate present where world hunger was like a real deal, not just in third world countries, but everywhere. And the super pigs were being genetically engineered as a means to potentially lessen that terror from happening. So she in some ways had good reasoning behind her, but it's the other things that go along with that. There's a scene with Jake Gyllenhaal where really messed up scene, actually, I thought, where once again the film just kind of takes a turn where for the most part it hasn't been too dark yet, and then Okja is, I mean, essentially raped, and then they extract the meat from her, and it's very disturbing. Like, and then the very end is very disturbing too.
Yeah, it wasn't as disturbing. John, did you happen to see, what was that show we watched?
13 Reasons.
No, not that.
Oh.
The other one with, crap, what was it called? With the man and the pig.
Oh, you're thinking of Black Mirror.
John, did you ever watch Black Mirror?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, no.
Another one you should watch.
I feel like that was more disturbing.
It was disturbing in a different way. This was disturbing in a way that it's taking something that actually happened, which is breeding of animals, forced breeding of animals, but shining a light on it, on a creature that you are meant to care for and do care for, because throughout the film, Okja, not even just that it has feelings, it seems to have heightened intelligence, exactly, to the point where you question.
At the end with the other creatures.
It was crying.
But Mija almost seemed to have a legitimate language with Okja, even, where she would whisper in its ears and it would whisper in her ears. So I almost wonder if, because they had been together for 10 years, if they had actually learned to understand each other and had a language that had been created between them.
They have.
They don't come out and say it.
At the very end of the movie, where it does the same thing, like in a way that it hadn't yet in the movie, or at least shown in the movie previously. Where he's just whispering into her ear right at the very end. So I agree with that, and that's what made that whole scene even worse. Like, it's bad enough that it was just, not to underplay, but it would be bad enough if it was a cow. You know what I mean? Like, that would be like, all right, this is really kind of over the line for me. But this was even worse. Is as an animal, but it's an intelligent. It's a sentient animal that understands what's going on. It's kind of just like
A gentle, kind creature.
Yeah, there was really nothing violent about the creature. The only scene where you saw Okja display any sort of violence was during the parade when they tried to reveal Okja to Mija for them to reconnect, and she was almost blinded at that point. You could see her eyes were all messed up, and she had been tortured and went through this this terrible ordeal. So she comes out somewhat violent, but that's really the only scene at all where Okja displays violence. She's just a really peaceful creature, and that's what makes it even more upsetting. I'm going to bring in a fourth person. I feel like there would be no problems having 4 people in here right now. I'm going to bring in Brian, aka Flames to Earth. Let's see if we can get him in here. Brian, can you hear us? Looks like you have to unmute your mic.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to the show, Brian. How you doing, man?
Brian!
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
It's good to hear everyone's voices. Like there's actually voices and people behind these usernames.
It's very cool. Brian, now did you watch Okja?
This is so cool.
Yes, I did.
All the way through?
Yeah, all the way through.
Okay, just want to make sure. I'm just because the ending is like the thing. Like that's where it takes a turn at the end. But before we get to the end, I kind of want to get your opinion as well, Brian, on Mirando and also on Alf and the dynamic there and overall opinion of the movie.
That's a lot you're throwing at him. What does he want to talk about?
I felt like Mike a little bit in the beginning. It was real slow, and it really had a hard time to kind of get me going. And then, it definitely picked up. I felt a lot of that back and forth. I've never seen any of Bong JoonHo's movies before, so I wasn't quite prepared for what I was going to be watching.
Right.
But they did, they threw a lot at you that I don't think I really got the full effect of the movie until afterwards. About a day after it sank in, see what I actually did watch and what I actually did experience.
Was that because you looked at some meat in your freezer?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that last bit there was definitely gut-wrenching. But even just throughout the whole thing, you went from this lighthearted, kind of fun movie in the beginning to this, with also that little, very heavy South Korean feel to it. That's where, you were talking about the grandpa, how he seemed a little off. It reminded me kind of like the stereotypical Kung Fu Hustle vibe.
Okay.
Like they really, tried to put a spotlight on just how ridiculous some of those movies can be and how outrageous those characters can be. So the grandpa kind of embodied that, that craziness of your typical.
That's a very good point. I mean, it's just it's a different culture and a different style of filmmaking. And I like that. I like seeing different directorial styles. And Bong JoonHo, he's very specific on his style, and he stuck with it. And that's what I kind of like about him. Like, you could watch The Host and you can watch Snowpiercer, and you'd be like, I wonder if he intended to do this, or if he couldn't handle the pacing of the vibes and the pacing of the themes. But now that he's done it 3-4 times in a row, it's clear that this is just the style of the man. Like, this is what he wants to do, and maybe that's because he's from South Korea. I'm not sure, but I respect it. I like that he has his own style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Brian,
absolutely.
would you say that you enjoyed it overall in the end, though?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I said, it took a day or so to really sink in to see how I felt overall about the movie, because it was so back and forth with kind of all the different themes. But yeah, once it was all said and done, I think how they played off Mirando and Alf against each other, and how you definitely hated Mirando from the get-go, but you even hate Alf there for a while.
For a moment.
Yeah, you really think Steven Yeun's, he's a douchebag. So
he does redeem himself, though. That's the thing. To
Right.
explain to the viewers, there was a scene where Steven is a translator, and they're so about listening to people's feelings and respecting people's rights and all of that, and same with animals, respecting all rights. So when they get Mija and they ask her, we want to put a tracking a listening device on Okja and let her be captured. But Mija, we're not going to do this unless you give us the go-ahead. Mija says, no, I just want to take Okja back to the mountains. And Steven's like, she says yes, let's do it. Like, it is like, whoa, you douchebag. But then he does come back at the end with a tattoo on his arm and you know, ready to redeem himself. So, you know, he does make up for his mistake in the end.
He saves them.
And he does save them, yeah. And at the very end, in the post credits, he's not stopping, man. Him and Jay are ready to go at Mirando still. If you guys watch the post credits sequence, what about like the action? Did you guys feel, because he's known for action with The Host and Snowpiercer especially, which had awesome action in it. If anybody's not seen that movie, how'd you guys feel about those few action moments? Let's start with Kristen here.
I like action, so it was cool.
Very good answer.
I want to hear from other people.
Okay, let's go with Mike. How'd you feel
I don't
about the
wanna
action
hog
scene?
the-
The first one
I didn't
being
think
like
there was
the
enough to give really any. I mean, for the little that there was, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't an action movie, so don't.
No.
I don't want to set that expectation for anybody. I mean, the little bit of action scenes are the same amount of action you'll get in any kids movie. But what was there was fine and executed well. But movies like Snowpiercer and stuff like that do it far better. So.
I think for a relatively low budget Netflix movie, though, the CGI on the creature was not bad at all, and the interaction of Mija with a CGI creature, and how there's that part where Okja, I think is a she, is charging through the mall. And Mija jumps on her back, and the way the camera like angles at Mija's foot and follows her as like they skid around the corner there, I was like, that was really impressive. I like the camera
one thing that
work
stuck
there.
out to me was this girl is like a martial arts prodigy. The way she like saw that the bridge was going to be too low and was able to jump on the back, grab the bar, and still hang on. Like, get the hell out of here!
I was expecting a little more, to be honest with you.
Run after it.
I saw the
No,
trailers, for instance. The trailers show all the moments where she like tries to jump through the glass and the moment with the truck. So I was expecting, since it's like this South Korean movie, I was expecting like crazy martial arts action out of her to just come out of nowhere. Go ahead, Kristen.
She lives in the woods on a mountain, so she has to be martial artsy and monkey-ish. She probably swings from trees all day. So I'm not surprised that she could bend her body and jump off a crap.
She had skills.
She climbed that, yeah.
And I think she was only 15 years old, if I remember right.
Yeah,
I think
if you lived in that environment,
Well,
I'm
that
sure
makes
you
sense,
would be more adaptable to jumping off a crap too.
Okja was pretty adaptable too. That was pretty badass at the beginning, where Okja saves her by jumping over the branch and using the rope to pull her up, which again shows how intelligent Okja is, that she was able to figure out that and pretty much use like a lever system, like or not like a wheelie system, I guess you could call it. So that was really impressive. Okay, I guess let's go to the darkest part of the film. As we were saying, during the parade, they come back in contact with each other, and then the police come, I guess the police, and they beat the shit out of out of Alf, and they recapture Okja and bring her to the slaughtering facility at this point. And Nancy, the twin sister, has taken over, and she's even worse than Lucy, if I remember is the main sister's name.
She's a cold-hearted snake.
She's cold. Like, she's like, yep, kill them all. Like, this is it. Like, we're not messing around anymore. People will forget about this moment in like a month. As long as we price it right and it tastes good, nobody's going to care. So let's just slaughter them all.
I hate that that's true.
And that's the thing. It probably is true. that's something we could talk about in a moment. But that slaughterhouse moment at the end, where there's like thousands of super pigs behind electrified fences. Yeah. And then as they get into the facility, and they're just taking guns and just blowing their brains out. And then and you walk by tons of dead super pigs hanging. Like, it's dark. It's really dark.
Like, and that's such a the worst part of it was, can you imagine having that job? Like, what form of individual, like, you have to be so mentally degraded. There has to be nothing left in you to be like, yeah, I can put a loaded weapon to an animal's head as it's crying out,
I know.
Like,
is there nothing more humane you could have done? And that's the thing, like, this probably does happen, maybe not a gun, but, we've all seen videos and images of facilities like this one, slaughterhouses, and it's never pretty. The way the animals are kept in cages and they can't even move around. Their muscles are they're using steroids so that their muscles don't deteriorate because they're standing in one position for days and days. Like, it's terrible what happens to the animals, and then we eat them, you know. And that's the movie is shining a light on that and saying, you meat eater, feel bad, watch this and feel bad. Brian, did you feel bad?
Yeah. Oh, that was. I honestly, I mean, that whole entire scene was hard to watch, especially when she first walks in and kind of has that like take your breath away moment where I think they're starting to saw them apart and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything from that point on was just like, I don't really know if I want to continue to watch this and, eat tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they don't hold back. You're right. They literally show one of the super pigs being cut in half. Like, it's messed up. Like, they go all in at the end, because clearly this is the moment where they're like, you're attached to this creature now. And what's good about it too, in my opinion, is you're wondering, like, how are they ever going to shut this down, right? Are they going to just save one super pig, or are they going to find a way to just shut down this whole thing and save thousands of super pigs? But as it goes on further and further, you're like, no, that's not what this movie is about. Like, they're not going to stop this. Like, this is reality. Like, this is what happens. And if they save Okja, they save Okja, which they end up doing. But as they leave with Okja, you're watching all those other super pigs that, even though you aren't attached to emotionally, like, you should feel the exact same way about those super pigs as you do about Okja, because they're no different.
And let's give good attention to the direction of it. This is where I respect it, and I'll say this right now, not that I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel bad as maybe you guys did. I've seen these videos before. One of my ex-girlfriends was like huge into PETA. She made me sit down and be like, "This is where your chicken nuggets come from," and I'm like, "That's cool." Like, I've already seen it. I've already been through this. So it didn't hit me. Experience. So it didn't hit me maybe as harshly as it would for someone who's never seen them do stuff like this, but I've seen this plenty of times.
No, I don't disagree with you there. I'm not like rethinking eating meat. Like, when I watched the movie, I was like, this sucks, but I'm not going to stop eating steak.
I had bacon for breakfast. That was all right.
Well, yeah.
I had bacon 5 minutes ago.
Right.
But I did feel bad about it.
I was actually looking in my cabinet to see if we had a Slim Jim. We did not. So that said, as they're walking away, that's great filmmaking. That's what I respect. That's, to me, is great. So they're walking away. It's dark and solemn. She succeeds. She wins. She's able to buy Okja back somehow. That you get a glimpse of in the movie,
gold.
which is still a little ridiculous, but whatever. That little thing was worth that much.
It was solid gold. I don't know. I mean, she was a business person. Maybe it was worth a lot of money. They had thousands and thousands of other super pigs. Like, here's one.
But to put it on the finest jet. Take care of them as they're like, all right, whatever. You are a psychopath. But as they're walking away in this dark, solemn, corridor between all the, doomed super pigs, who are just looking at them, downtrodden, sad, and gloom, you just hear bang, and then you wait a few seconds, and then bang, and it's like consistent, and it's that audio and the pace and the camera angles that just drive it home. Like, just because this is a success, for her doesn't mean it's a success for anybody else. And that part right after that where they give her the baby pig, that's cool. But that was a perfect.
Yeah, but that was another like I just say like emotionally manipulative scene.
What was emotionally manipulative?
The scene where they're walking by and you see what's clearly a mother and father super pig and their baby there, and the baby goes into the electric fence.
Warm Coat brought that up. Yes.
Yeah, it goes into the electric fence, and then they're able to push the baby through, and then Okja picks her up into the mouth. That's
the other thing, is that they're as a species, supposed to be, intelligent. This is what's supposed to drive that home, is they know, their doom. No other animal knows what's going on when they're behind these cages for the most part.
I think dolphins do.
Well, but animals that we breed to get slaughtered. There are animals that, like cows, pigs, chickens that we breed to slaughter, essentially. And that's what this movie was playing
terrible.
at. Oh, I mean, it is, but that's what this movie was playing at. But there's no other animals that understand their impending fate.
Right, that's what you talked about after the film. Like, weren't you talking about intelligence being like the factor for you, which determines?
Yeah, so I don't feel as bad. I mean, it still sucks that a chicken has to die, but Like, I don't feel as bad about a chicken because it has, like, a pea brain. Versus, like, something
Right.
like a dolphin who would know it was dying.
Yeah, it kind of goes the same way for like some people that like kill crabs or whatever. Supposedly crabs don't feel pain, right? So that makes it okay that they don't feel the pain. That's why it's okay to throw them in boiling water and rip their backs off and,
Oh my
and do this
God.
and that, you
This
know?
is terrible.
Actually,
This is
throw
like,
them in ice water to numb them, then rip their backs off, and then.
Right. But either way, you're ripping the back off a creature. Like, you know,
Stop it.
when you think about it in the end, like what we do with these animals when we kill them is kind of terrible. But it's
Right.
the circle of life, right? I
that's
guess
what I brought up, yeah.
that's what we have to look
Why
at
don't
it
you
as.
ask someone on Discord about their thoughts?
I want to go to review guy, even though he hasn't seen the movie. Are you a meat eater, review guy? You
Yeah.
said you ate bacon.
Yes.
Do you have like any inkling at all, any feeling that this movie could affect you in such a way that you would ever consider not eating meat?
I've gotten close.
Really?
With like some videos I've watched, I decided to torture myself. Why? I don't know why. But I also had a girlfriend as well that she's vegan, so
Oh.
she was very heavy on that. It's possible like it would sway me, but then again, like I can't give up bacon.
So you can become a vegan that eats bacon.
Why not turkey bacon, man? Well, that's still.
Well,
Turkey's an
we
animal.
still
What's
eat-
the other kind of bacon? They have another kind of bacon. What's the bacon that doesn't have any meat in it?
What?
It's like tofu bacon or something.
Yeah, I guess tofu bacon. Yeah,
Nah, I'm good.
you good?
Soy
mean-
bacon.
Yeah.
Nah.
What about just maybe instead of eating so much meat, you just decide I'm not going to eat as much meat?
That's a conversation for a different topic. I feel like just the overconsumption of everyday modern life in America, especially versus let alone the world. But I mean we eat an egregious amount of food and we waste
I don't.
quite a lot as well. Not you in particular, but as a massive whole, as a not species necessarily, but as a country, people, even you up in that great white maple north, overconsume more than you guys need.
Definitely, and I agree with that. Some of the stuff that we throw out, it's disgusting. That could be going to somewhere else, that needs it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really would like to know what it would take for me to say I can't eat this chicken anymore.
Do you think it's seeing animal cruelty? Is that what's going to do for you, or would it be something else?
No, I think if I watched that Netflix documentary called
Fed
What
up.
the hell?
What the Health, I think I would literally
Watch
just
Fed Up.
I think I would stop eating.
I could probably find a YouTube video that almost couldn't stop me from eating chicken.
But it's
Yeah,
like
there's plenty of this.
my thing is, I know you can get protein and stuff from nuts, but if you don't eat meat, where do you get your
I'll be 100% honest with you. It has nothing at all to do with health or requirements as far as 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 a human being goes. It is entirely about taste, and I refuse to not eat steak.
not-
It
right. tastes
tastes way too damn good for
What
me to
if
stop
a
eating
human
steak.
tasted like that?
Well, I mean,
Well,
I have steak.
then-
Why do I need to eat a human?
I'm not saying that I would go cannibal, but if it tastes like steak or bacon or
I like where this conversation's going right now.
I could turn into Death Note or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Like
Yeah,
on The
you gotta do
Walking
what you gotta
Dead.
do.
On The Walking Dead, they ate people.
Yeah,
They
that's
definitely
true.
did.
That one camp, they were desperate and they ate people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, that's where I draw the line. I don't think I would ever eat a human.
You
I
would
think
rather starve.
Hey,
even in
There's
the
a line that
apocalypse.
you can draw, but
I think that's where I draw the line.
I think if I was desperate, I would definitely give it a shot.
What I'd be interested to talk to is someone who's never seen any of those PETA, or animal rights movies, and then watches this, not knowing anything about, food and meat production, and slaughterhouses as they are, and to, speak with them and make sure they understand that, nope, this is exactly how these things are run, and find their reaction.
Right.
Just because I'm sure everybody in here has seen something of this or at least knows it. Like if Danny could understand it, I would be very interested to see like what her reaction to it all would be.
We need
I
to
know.
call up North Korea.
Rick in the chat said, for him personally, the more disturbing scene of animal cruelty was the forced breeding and the
Yeah.
meat extraction and all of that. I think especially what made that scene disturbing was that Jake Gyllenhaal was drunk Dr. Wilcox or whatever his name was. He was drunk. He's maniacal. He's like talking with that crazy voice, and then on top of that, just the way they're framing it, and they also have Alf watching it too. The fact that they're watching it, and Lily Collins is in the film too, and then they they turn it off and say I can't watch this, just make it just audio only. The way they played that scene out, the director Bong JoonHo did a great job of really forcing us almost to watch it as well. It was putting us in the same shoes as these main characters and forcing us to watch this terrible act. It was very emotional because it really, like, you look at that, and forced breeding happens all the time, but when you're watching it on screen here with this animal that has feelings and has intelligence, you look at it as rape. That's the way you look at it, and that's what makes it messed up. And then that, of course, calls into question. Then it's like, should I be feeling that way in general with this happening? Because that's the case. It's very messed up.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was brave enough to go on YouTube and look up what they do to animals,
right?
I mean, it's probably similar to that. But if it was like I knew it was actually real life, I don't know what would happen to me, and I'm afraid I would dwindle away to like 80 pounds. For real.
Don't do it. Trust me. Don't do it.
Because if I don't eat chicken, what am I gonna eat? I know that's terrible, but what am I gonna eat? Like grass?
I eat chicken all the time, pretty much every meal.
Yeah, chicken's in everything. I don't know. I don't think I can do it.
I just have beef for dinner, so.
Yeah, and we had chicken.
Yep, that's the way it is, man.
I had chicken for breakfast, and I had bacon for dinner, so.
Wow, we had chicken for breakfast. What kind of chicken?
I eat chicken strips for breakfast.
Oh, wow. Chicken strips for
That's
breakfast.
amazing.
Way to go, man. You are such an American. Well, no, you're a Canadian. Never mind. I was about to say you're just an American. Wow, Canadians are no different than us, guys. Well, anyway, was there any other moment in the film, to any of you, that you feel like you want to discuss before we wrap up here? Something that we missed? I feel like we touched on most of the big story beats of the film.
I don't want to go first.
No.
All right, so real quick, since I only said it to Drew and Chris and I got their opinions, John and Brian, what were your opinions on Jake Gyllenhaal's voice?
I don't know.
Oh wait, no, just right. John didn't get to it.
So I mean, at first I didn't realize, because I think I went in like you. I didn't know who was in this movie. I didn't see anything about it. It popped up on Netflix and said, "Oh, Okja's on." I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." I didn't know it was Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, it took me a good 2 or 3 minutes to realize that was Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's the new Gary Oldman. The guy's a chameleon. I mean.
Yeah. But then once I got it, I mean, I know I'm in a minority, but I'm not a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan at all.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not either, after he broke Taylor Swift's heart multiple times.
The voice really reminded me of Bubble Boy.
Oh, wow. I forgot he was in that. That's crazy.
That's one reason I hate Jake Gyllenhaal.
I never actually watched that movie.
And that reminds me exactly of that voice, that kind of character. And then he gets dark, in the more Donnie Darko kind of stuff too. But I feel like it's a blending of those two characters.
If you want to see a movie that, in my opinion, will turn you around on Jake Gyllenhaal, because I think it's probably his best performance, watch Nightcrawler.
That was good, yeah.
Excellent movie. It's on Netflix, maybe. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore, but watch Nightcrawler. Guy is fantastic in that. It's just unbelievable performance from him.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't know, that whole breakdown that he had in the offices right after the whole original thing happened, when she's like, she's the new, when Tilda Swinton's character is like, she's the new face of the company. He's like, excuse me. Yeah. And he starts going on his
come on, nobody's voice is that high.
Dude,
come on.
It's so good. It is so funny.
It was a little too much for me. I don't know, man. I couldn't handle it. Well, we do ratings out of 5 stars here. Brian, what would you give it out of 5, man?
4.5.
4.5. Wow. You liked it a lot. Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad, man. Good choice then for this month. How about you, Mike? What'd you think?
I'm between a 3.5 and a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I probably around a 4 for me.
I was going to say 4.
Yeah.
And you were asking if there's anything else anyone wanted to point out or what they liked.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just liked the pig. I liked the pig.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Good
Which
for
one,
you.
babe?
Yeah, this is a very in-depth look into my mind. I like the pig. He was cute, and he was smart, and I would love to have him around.
It was very sweet at the end when they come back together. It's very sweet, just because it really felt like like Okja was more like a sister to Mija than anything else. Like it was family. Like it really was.
Yeah, she slept on him.
Yeah, that was so cute at the beginning. At the very
like,
beginning.
I would never be able to do that. Like that's like, see, that's the thing is like that thing had to smell so bad, and I wouldn't.
Well,
be
I'm
able
sure
to,
she did too.
But okay, I
You think
probably
she's
wouldn't be able
running
to
around
sleep around
brushing
her
her
either.
teeth
Then.
in a well?
That end or that beginning, I should say, when she wakes up in the middle of the night and like
goes,
like
like,
kind of
gets
like
under him.
slumbers outside and gets under, and then Okja puts her arm
Like,
over.
no, don't do that.
It was,
Oh,
oh
man.
come on, that was so cute. Like those moments for
See,
me.
I
That's
think
what,
that's the difference between you guys and me. Then I just can't like, I don't know, some like things like that. Like I know that it smells putrid, so I'm just like, nope.
see,
not
that's what
into that.
made like the first 20 minutes, which you call it slow. Like I really enjoyed that part of the film because that was the character development part of the film. Like that was establishing the relationship. That was making us care about Okja. Because everything after that, you don't really get to see the relationship. It's all a chase film.
Right.
You know, it's all trying to get Okja back. It's really those first 20 to 30 minutes where you get to have a sense of why they love each other and the relationship they had built over the past 10 years. And that was very important. You can't do the film without that. Go ahead.
I want to say one more thing, and I want to ask: is everyone else still on the phone line? Is John and Brian still there?
Yeah.
Are you still
Yeah.
here, guys? They're still here.
Stop
Still
whispering.
here.
Why do you always whisper when you talk to people on Discord?
Because the microphone is right here.
My God, we should have like a NPR style show with Kristen just like whispering into the microphone the entire time.
I like to tickle people's ears.
Oh my God, she could do ASMR.
Oh my
That's what
God.
Wormcoat
Yeah,
literally
level
just
up
said that in the
ASMR.
chat.
What does that mean?
It's hard to explain. Some people get, I don't want to say get off. It's more like
Stop
just like
it.
an emotional reaction.
No,
Like
no,
they-
it's definitely like it tickles their fancy.
it makes them feel good inside. Not in
All
like
right,
not in a
we're
sexual
done.
way. I'm not talking in a sexual way.
No,
I'm
it's
being
not
completely honest
sexual
with you.
at all.
I'm being completely honest with you. It's some people listen to it could be cards being stacked. It could
Or
be
people chewing on food.
yeah,
Right.
honestly, even people chewing on food. For some reason, there's certain people that get something off of that.
There's
Well,
people that
that's-
just read
It's
words off
soothing.
the list. That,
It's
yeah,
soothing,
the way
yeah.
They say things with like an S or a T. You know, it connects.
Go on
with it.
YouTube and look up ASMR videos, and you will always see somebody before they do whatever the audio is. They will talk like this. Hello, everybody, and they get real close to the microphone and they whisper because that's like what it's all about. It's all about like the sensory feeling of audio.
Raindrop.
Wow. That's
Dude.
so weird.
I don't know how did it go into this? Like, how did Okja become this? I don't know. But anyway, what were you were
'Cause
going to
I
ask
whisper.
Brian and review guy question?
I wasn't gonna ask them a question. I just wanted their opinions. Like when you watch a TV show or a movie and you see someone who's like next to like a woman or a man in bed, and like they literally just wake up and they're like kissing and they're talking right in each other's faces. It's like, really? I would never let anyone near me before they brush their teeth first thing in the morning. And you are talking into each other's faces like an inch away and making out?
Well, that's movies
not
in
realistic.
general.
Do you feel like, would you guys do that?
No.
Do you do that?
No.
Wait, what was this? I'm sorry.
The way film portrays not even just like relationships and as like a conversation, it's how close they are together, but also how quickly conversations happen in film. And I've read about this before, that it's something that's intentionally done because even though it's unrealistic, it's to be interesting and keep conversation moving. You're not going to have the pauses and the hesitation of a
Well,
normal
like Gilmore
conversation.
Girls is a perfect example of this. Like no one
What?
talks like that. Like
Aaron Sorkin's writing. Nobody talks like
Oh,
Aaron
right,
Sorkin's
exactly,
writing.
yeah.
I wasn't talking about that. I was just saying, how do you feel about in movies? Doesn't that pull you out of the moment? It pulls me out of the moment. Every time I see someone in a movie who wakes up in the morning, I'm like, you have morning breath. There's no way a girl will be in your face right
Oh, actually, no. That's the funny thing. That's me and Danielle.
now.
It exists.
Morning
See?
breath?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Is there an example of this in
It's
Okja
called
that you're
love,
thinking of?
Kristen.
No, because you guys are talking
Experience it.
about Okja.
And how close they were
and that
together.
they probably smelled. And
That's
I was,
love, man.
I don't like, I'm very sensitive to smell.
Oh, you and me both. That's why I wouldn't be able to stand, that animal. That honestly, I'm very weird about like certain animals, like dogs, like people that have cats. Like I'm just very weird about like
Mike,
animals in
you have
general.
a
just because I know
long
they smell.
beard. It probably
It
smells.
doesn't. No, it smells really good. It smells like cedarwood. Like it's actually really. Like I'm always. but
Smells
that's the
like
thing, see,
cedarwood.
I'm really anal about smell. Like ask Danielle. Like you guys talk enough. I feel like you should know this, but like I am anal as fuck about smell. Like I cannot handle bad smells in any way. But in the morning, I wake up and I see her and I'm like, oh hey, I love you, and I'll kiss her, like because I have no problem with it.
Aww.
like
but-
right on the lips?
Yeah, absolutely. Where else? No, on her fucking shoulder. Like yes, on her lips.
What? Girls like shoulder kisses too.
Well, yeah, but that's not like, oh my god, I missed your shoulder so bad, that skin. No, it's like, hey,
So is a lip. A
love
lip
you,
is flesh.
What
yeah,
is
but I can
happening
stare
to this
into her eyes at the same
conversation?
time. But like, I don't know. It's just creatures in general like that. That's why I like amphibians. They have no smell. They're just there.
Very, very interesting.
Okja, 4 out of 5 stars, guys.
Very interesting.
Watch it. No, seriously though, I do recommend this movie. I thought it's worth watching, even if it's not like your style of film. I think it brings up an interesting conversation, which we have been discussing tonight, and I think it will it'll put a moral conundrum on you at the least, and I think that's something that people should experience. Thank you to Brian and John for joining us tonight through Discord.
Yeah, no worries.
It was lovely.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
Brian,
Yeah.
it's been great
Lovely.
talking to you again, man.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
only
you
got
too.
John and Brian tonight, but this is going to be the way we do Netflix Club moving forward, guys. Every month when we talk about Castlevania next time, you guys
so
can
good.
jump on Discord and you can discuss the series or the movie with us. Since we only had 2 people tonight, we just kept them in the entire show. But if we get a lot of people, we'll switch people in and out, and we'll get multiple opinions and all that, and keep things moving in that way. So keep that in mind for next time
Yeah,
on
because
the Netflix.
Which you
someone's
guys
gonna have
have
to
enough-
fill my spot because I'm not gonna watch Castlevania.
Maybe
You
next
guys have
time
enough
we will
time
get an
to-
official member to join us. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and I'm sure everybody will have enough time to watch Castlevania a few times before the next Netflix Club. You're gonna want to.
It's only like 90 minutes long total.
It's 4 episodes. Yeah,
And each
But
one's like
it's-
22 minutes, right?
about that. Yeah, it's essentially a big prequel to the next season. But
okay, cool.
It's so good.
Which they did confirm. They confirmed the second season.
Right.
Yeah, which is great. So please, guys, watch Castlevania. It is already on Netflix right now. It's very short, very sweet. Mike liked it a lot. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but that will be the next Netflix Club. And I think we'll have a good discussion on that one, considering that, we have such a great gaming community here on the Level Up Network. Warmco says, I've only seen the first episode, but it was great. Very nice. I heard it was very gory.
It is.
Great.
Very gory.
Great.
I'm making you watch it. You're watching it.
I want to see Chris's reaction in general, but she's just gonna hate it so much.
Yeah, you're really making me want to watch this.
22-minute episode. You can watch one.
You know what? I have very limited free time to watch TV. I would like to watch something that I
Yeah,
like.
but you have free time. But you need to spend time with Andrew, and Andrew needs to watch this.
No,
so
he needs to spend time with me.
Well, that's a good point too.
Yes.
That's a good John. Thank you, John.
He's just chiming in.
He's chiming.
Like
That's a
the
good
voice.
point
He's like,
too.
it's like the voice in my head. Keep that around.
All right, guys with Discord, I'm going to drag you guys out, but thank you so much again for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
So long.
Bye.
Level up.
Thank
Level up.
you. Level up.
Oh my god, I love them.
That was cool.
John and
I really
Brian.
enjoy having people on the show in that way. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's
Yeah,
so cool to
absolutely.
hear their voices.
Thank you to 52 follows. All those people aren't in the room. Once again, this is the people that are probably following off the Twitch app, off our recommendation. But if any of you are in the room and decided to join us, thank you for following. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We are on all week long with gaming talk shows and game streams. I'll actually even be on tonight with some more of Metro 2033.
Great.
How you liking that?
It's all right. It's not great. It's not bad. It's fine. I'm
I
looking
don't
forward to
understand
last night.
everybody's obsession with it. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, I don't get it.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but
Right, it's fine.
It's aged. I think Last Light
Right.
will be better, but I'm not sure if I'm going to move straight to Last Light or if I'm going to skip around and do something else. Follows keep coming in. Thank you so much, guys. Keep them coming. Hit that heart button here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Sunday is another big episode for us. We have Lucid Fox, Casey, joining us as our special guest. Is that Danny? Hey, Danny. How you doing?
hi.
Aww.
You're
Hi,
live.
Tanya. Danny, it's the Tickle Monster!
Here, what's up with that?
The Tickle Monster's coming for you!
Danny, say level up. She can't
Oh,
hear me,
shit.
can she?
No.
Tell her to say level up.
They say level up. Say level up.
Yes! So make sure you don't miss Sunday's show, guys, because we're going to have Casey Lucid Fox on, a very popular streamer on Twitch, partner streamer. He's doing a great job. He's got a great channel, so check him out as well. It's Lucid Fox with 2 X's. So give him a follow now in preparation. And then we'll probably talk about D23 Expo. We'll talk about all the Disney stuff that happened, and that'll all be on Sunday. And don't forget, subs are still important to us, guys. We can't go below 80. We need to stay at 80 or above to hold on to that partner spotlight. So if you are a Twitch Prime member, if you already have subbed, don't forget to renew. We need to hold on to all those subs. They can't go anywhere.
It's the Tickle Monster! No! She's coming for you!
Very creepy. Almost as creepy as Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So long. Thank you so much for watching. This will go up on YouTube if you missed any of us. If any of it, if you want to see the full Netflix Club conversation on Okja, make sure to follow us on YouTube.com/The Level Up Network. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to
Level up!
level up. Oh, that was awesome.
That
She
was
did
so
it. Level up,
cute.
guys.